Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you all can hear us. Checking. If anybody will actually watch the stream. If not, then so bad, I guess. Welcome back to Cast of Gods.
Hello.
Galil's here.
Yeah. I guess I'm here.
Galil, the Guilty Gear guy of the community.
The guilty gear fair ever. Yeah.
Yeah, he's here. Narrow's back once again.
Hello.
Debating for the goated soul bad guy. Yeah, surprisingly, Galil's not repping either of these characters.
Yeah.
He's just here. He's gonna mediate because I know fucking nothing about these series. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll be the guy that I'll be the guy be like, imagine that's not how that works. That's not.
No.
Yeah.
And then, lastly, we got a new face to the stream. We got the Ectospasm TA. Say hello, Ecto. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
That's just fuck.
That's
fucking.
sick.
I got KO'd.
He already fucking lost his stream before it even started. That's crazy.
Yep.
Hey.
Chalk that one down to 0-1.
0-1 on the Ectospasm.
Oh, we can end now,
TA
sweet.
win loss. What's up?
We can end the stream now, sweet.
I go to sleep. Anyway, this matchup, I feel like most people would kind of get it from a glance. Both games made by Arxis. One's 3D, one's... Well, I guess... No.
No.
Well, no. Well,
Basically, you ever heard of Death Battle, old man?
Well,
Yeah.
Oh my fucking nah.
yeah, Arxis games. Wait, this
2D
isn't
Fire.
Grand Blue. Thanks, Jukum. I agree. This isn't Grand Blue.
You know, it's protagonists of Arxis series who get fucked over in the plot so many times. Lose their lover. I don't know about that one. Maybe. I'm sure you could.
Doesn't really have like a romantic interest.
I know it's fucking weird, and I know it's fucking amazing with its lore. So I'll love to hear it. But
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Death
lot of
Battle
proper
did it
nouns.
before.
yeah.
I mean, it's shitty, but whatever. We'll just start the debate.
Well, no.
Yeah, that's basically why I'm here. I gotta make up for it.
So you got. No. Actually, you gotta double down on it.
No.
I guess let's not edge the audience any further. Let's get into
Like Ragna the Blood Edge? Yo!
Hold on, yeah, that's a good lead in. Don, tell us who is Ragna the Blood Edge from Blazblue.
Ragna the Blood Edge is the main character of Blazblue, basically. Dude grew up all happy with his brother and his sister in an orphanage raised by a nun, until a green man showed up, Green Adachi, and burned the place down, stole his arm, and had his brother almost kill him. But thankfully Ragna survived, and so a magic vampire came along and said, "Hey, good news, kid, you're the main character. Here's a magic arm that lets you summon Satan." And he's like, "Oh, that sucks." And so he becomes basically any other fighting game main character. He goes where he goes, he finds people, he fights them. He's come into conflict with the NOL, who are basically like magic police. He comes into conflict with unknowable horrors from another dimension, God, the concept of death, and a green guy. And basically, are you wanting me to run down into his ability?
If you want to, feel free.
Just a general character overview, like who this guy is.
If you want, yeah.
So, yeah, the main thing Ragna wields is his new magic arm, which is the Azure Grimoire. It's basically a diet version of the Blazblue. And a Grimoire is basically the means by which we control Seether. And Seether is what the Black Beast is made of. And the Black Beast is a big fucking kaiju that killed a lot of people. To basically narrow it down, it's a type of magic that can scar the soul so badly that even rewriting reality can't heal the wounds properly. However, in an almost contradictory sense, despite how harmfully and fatally poisonous it is in certain doses, and how addictive and corrosive to all life it can be, in small doses and used the proper way, it can also grant life, grant sentience, and poisoning. Ragna can draw on a basically infinite well of Seether because he kind of is the Black Beast. Basically, a Ragna in another timeline fell into a magic hole and became a kaiju. From a different timeline, went back and sealed it away for a little while. And so, basically, anything the Black Beast can do, Ragna at his best can do by tapping in the idea engine, which is sort of like a grimoire, except it's more defensive and amplification based. So it allows defense against reality warping in general. It can boost his stats, among a handful of other things. Ragna wields a weapon typically called the Blood Scythe.
Your mic is.
It is a big sword that can turn into a scythe, and through it he can channel the ability. Yeah, and basically he can steal souls with it. He can absorb souls. He can absorb matter. He can absorb themes, metaphysical concepts, and there is a thing in Blazblue called phenomena intervention. Basically, this is overriding reality by taking a thing that happened and overriding it with a different possibility that could have happened. And Ragna can't directly use this, but he has resisted basically every form of it, and from the higher extent of characters. I could go into the cosmology of Blazblue a little later when we get into the proper scaling of everything, but that's a general rundown on Ragna. I can also clarify more as needed if the judges, I suppose. More clarification on things.
Yeah,
I didn't die. I'll cut myself off there for right now.
Yeah, your mic is hard working against you. I'll give you time to fix that a little bit. Nero, who is Soul Bad Guy?
Well, to give you an idea of who Soul is, we gotta like understand that in the world of Guilty Gear, there is something called magic, which is basically it's like a pure form energy, which has basically replaced.
It happened at Y2K.
Yeah, basically replaced all forms of energy in the world, and so Frederick. Soul was originally a man named Frederick, who was a magic physicist alongside his two friends Arya and Asuka, right? Is he Asuka?
Yeah, it's Asuka.
Asuka, yeah.
Okay, working.
Also, I believe it was nuclear physicist, but we're not going to get into the nitty gritty.
Yeah. Basically, they wanted to improve the world with the foundation of the Gear Project. But long story short, like a series of unfortunate events orchestrated by Asuka led to Frederick's life turning to shit. Arya, who had a thing for him, was taken away by the military and was put under cryosleep. And then Asuka, I guess going by that man right now, left Frederick for dead and restructured his entire body, turning him into a gear. Basically, what this meant for Frederick now is that he was an undying immortal monster that causes destruction in his wake just by taking a step. So now, taking the name of Soul Bad Guy, Soul created equipment of his own, like lots of equipment of his own. I'll get to that later. And I guess in this point in the story, he went on a personal revenge quest, becoming a bounty hunter, traveling this now his new like broken world and trying to find like that man, that man who wronged him, and also beating up a bunch of like other gears that were popping up left and right. As like I said, magic is the main source of energy within Guilty Gear, and Soul he I guess channels his own like magic through various like tools. Like, could you call it tools or whatever? His most current like weapon that he uses is the Onslaught, which I guess Onslaught. Onslaught version 2? Or...
no, the junkyard dog, right?
Junkyard, yeah. I thought that was junkyard.
Yeah. The junkyard dog he modifies into
Well, no, you didn't mention
I got
that,
the name wrong. Fucking God.
You could have mentioned. I thought you were. I won't be so real. I thought you were referring to the big fucking stone sword he used when he was order saw. I thought that was what you were referring to. I was like,
okay. So yeah, I'm my notes are messed up. That is a good thing for me. His main form of attack is unleashing fire magic, basically, and a bunch of other stuff. But to get into like most like what just like being a gear, kind of Soul has a bunch of like resistances to like a bunch of things. Like he for some reason he's immune to getting just deleted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so one time Soul this bitch named Eno went to the past to kill
Don't call her bitch.
Soul's old self. And then Soul just saw that and he was fine.
He just said nah. He said some corny ass line of like whatever happens in the past is ain't me or since I know. Yeah, no, I love that moment.
Yeah. And I guess going further into like the lore Guilty Gear, there is a world out there called the Backyard, which is where all the magic in the world comes from. I'll get to that later. And in this universe, Soul can actually merge the real world with the Backyard, and which creates the Absolute World. And what happens in the Absolute World is that it erases beings who can't survive inside of it, creates information flares, which just floods like in these little like pockets of space. It can flood someone with information and just destroy them. You know, fucking. You know, I know Aqua, you like that. The one thing Gojo does, and also it can rewrite an object's information to turn it into something else. So. And Soul can just like chill there and be perfectly fine within this both the Absolute World and the Backyard. He's just fine. Some other things he can do with I forgot. He's also basically like nigh impossible to kill. Just because his regeneration is so like absurd that nothing can normally kill him. To compare his regeneration, there's a guy named Raven who said that Soul's regeneration is superior to him. And Raven is a guy who can regenerate from getting impaled, decapitated, immolated, and disintegrated down. So like fucking you can't kill Soul. And another thing that Soul can do, he's an energy absorber. Fun facts. He can like nullify like magic, which is again, it's basically energy, a pure form of energy. So he can like whatever like other forms of energy, he can realistically just like nullify and absorb it back and redirect it back to its sender and all that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Don's goated mic was working against him there.
Yeah.
Well, my internet, not my mic.
Yeah.
I'll have you know.
Yeah, you're right. Go. I'll let you lead the charge. Is there a specific category you want them to talk about first?
Okay, so I think I want to save. I really want to save stats for a little bit because I know that I'm gonna be real interested in where both of them get. So let's just start off with what they got. What's their techniques? What's their shit? What do they got? What do they got in terms of arsenal?
All right. I'll go through mine then. All right. So Ragna, by his nature, is acausal. Ragna is something called the central fiction. Basically, all of reality.
You want me to start or fucking?
Yeah. I don't care. Oh, Aqua, it's your streaming. What do you?
Sort
Don
of
is
twist
dying.
/ exists around reality would stop existing. I am dying. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me.
The internet is killing Don. Don, do you just want Nero to go real quick?
Yeah, Nero could go real quick. Hold on.
Okay, and Nero, you got this.
Okay, so as mentioned earlier, Soul's like his current main weapon is the Outrage Mark II. It's the and Soul can just like summon this weapon. Like,
no, I'm not gonna will him actually. I know what you're talking about. I'm not gonna will him actually.
Galil's gonna be so obnoxious.
And Soul can like channel his magic through this to like create some truly like I hate phrasing like this, but like some truly iconic attacks like
Volcanic Viper.
Volcanic Viper gunplay and fucking all that. Heavy Mob Cemetery, which is my favorite thing to do ever. But,
Yeah.
And there's an upgraded version.
Well,
of
actually, Heavy Mob's not a part of Outrage, but shh.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So yeah. The fully upgraded outrage, which can like when fully charged, it can fire an attack that is equal to the power of the backyard and kill someone who is like channeling a similar sort of energy.
Real quick, am I better?
You sound worse.
You
but,
sound worse, but it's not that big of a
It's not the
My
mic quality.
microphone is worse because I'm on my phone now, but hopefully my internet's a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be fine just doing this. Your mic quality won't be as good, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
And he also wears a little bandana, yeah. That when removed, like basically unleashes Soul's full power, and he can like turn on his install mode. You've seen it, you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Basically makes him stronger, make him like he already fly, but like he has real cool points with his wings and shit. So
Yeah.
and I guess like going off of Arsenal for a sec, their Soul is also just a really like smart and experienced fighter. Being a gear, Soul has been like doing his bounty hunter shtick for like 100 years at this point, like, around that. And because of that, like he's fought like a wide variety of opponents, and because of that, he can like quickly like grasp like what they're like just from a few seconds of fighting them. You can understand like the mechanics behind like the different spells and different attacks that he's never seen before. And he's also prone to using the environment to like gain advantages against his opponents. So he's also willing to like fight dirty. I remember at one point in the Strive story where he just like pushes a giant like statue of like, I forgot if it's Abraham Lincoln or not. Just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. No. No. Yeah. He says in his iconic line, "I hate projectiles."
damn projectiles. Yeah. Just
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, wait, I forgot. While also in the absolute world, he can also summon servants to help him in battle. So he also has a numbers advantage over Ragna, unless Ragna has a secret fucking like. Okay, whatever. These like servants, he can like, the weaker ones he can summon as many as he wants, but the bigger ones, which with like the more like potent ones, he can only summon one, but their abilities kind of make up for it. And if he die, he can just immediately summon another one just so he can help them. Just to quickly go over like the fucking important ones, I feel like that'll help him out. There are engulfers, which he can and these guys can disable an opponent's powers for 30 seconds. Fire wheel, these guys can paralyze opponents just by running them over. And then there's Gigant, which is a giant enemy that that towers over everything, and which induces fears in opponents. Blades are like the mini servants. He can summon as many as he wants, and when paired with Gigants, they can erect firewalls that can like passively harm opponents. And then there's the humble pencil guy, which can fire poisonous bullets that can be upgraded to explosive ones.
Ooh.
Hopefully all that got y'all heard that, right?
Yeah, we got all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I heard all of it.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
All right.
Okay, am I go now?
Yeah, you can go now. You got it. Also,
Okay,
chat, let me know if Don's mic
basically-
is loud or not.
Basically, everything listed for those summons, Ragna has resisted to a much higher degree than I'm sure those summons can do, so I don't know how much of a factor they're going to be playing here. But to get into Ragna's abilities a little more, as I mentioned before, my microphone fucked me. He is acausal, meaning that basically cause and effect do not pertain to him. Killing him in the past won't kill his present self. There was a fight, I believe, with Terrami, where he seemed to be cut in half and he was able to regenerate from it. And when he's channeling the power of the Black Beast, he has an ability called Self-Observation. Basically, observation is the ability to dictate whether or not something exists by simply acknowledging that it does. It's sort of the same principle as Schrodinger's cat. And people with the ability of self-observation can come back from being erased on a physical, spiritual, mental, and informational level by phenomenon intervention. And as the Black Beast, yeah, information in this sense basically refers to, and I believe it's the same for Guilty Gear, information is basically, if attacking something on an existential level is attacking it in its existence, information is defined by what makes up its existence. It's in the same way that like targeting something in its physical existence is one thing, but information is like the details of how it exists. It's basically what informs it to exist the way that it does. And this is an extent that people across both Blazblue and Guilty Gear can attack people on. And as the Black Beast, and with Seether, he's not only able to absorb souls, absorb physical matter, absorb dreams, but the Black Beast is said to even consume fate itself, further leaning into Ragna's existence as the central fiction. As I went into a little bit, the central fiction was basically chosen by the Amaterasu unit, or essentially Blazblue's god, to be the thing that all of reality centers around. If they should ever die permanently, all of reality would start to crumble, and I could go a little more into that when we get to the cosmology of stuff. But this also means that by various means, if Ragna were to die through traditional means, reality or time would try to rewrite itself so that it didn't happen, which usually leads to more harm than good in Ragna's case, but it does mean he's alive. Ragna's Azure Grimoire, what ended up replacing his arm, can damage a soul and prevent it from healing. Even Phenomena Intervention from the likes of Izanami, who is a god tier of the verse, and Noel, was not able to heal it properly. And again, Phenomena Intervention can affect things on an existential and informational level. He can even kill people that have self-observation and Phenomena Intervention, like Terumi, Noel, Arakune, Izanami, and Jin, who are some of the more major characters and major users of these, like, Haxier abilities. There's even a point where he was able to erase Terumi from existence. The Azure Grimoire also has the ability to erase things from existence if used properly. Granted, we very rarely, if ever, see Ragna use it to this extent. I believe only Terumi has, but theoretically he could. The Azure Grimoire also has the same powers as the Boundary. The Boundary is basically an extra-dimensional void beyond time and space. And it does very similar things to what the Backyard does, or to what True World does. It manipulates... Yeah, it manipulates one's soul, their body. It attempts to transmute them into something else. It can warp people's minds, corrupt their soul. It can even try to erase them from existence. And Ragna has gone through the Boundary just fine before, so he should resist all of those things. Seether, as I mentioned earlier, is incredibly poisonous. To an extent, even, that it's I think, directly compared to all poisons and is stated to be above them. And it can also act as an antibody to most traditional forms of poison or radiation. He is immune to time being stopped. I believe this was inducted by Jin, I want to say. He was able to resist his powers being absorbed by the Black Beast because he ended up fighting the Black Beast in the past. And he can even survive attacks from Jin's sword Yuki Anessa, which is stated to attack and erode life itself. So, like, literally his life force was being attacked at and slowly eroded away as they fought, but he was able to resist it. And he's even beaten Jin a couple times. He even resists Hades Izanami. As mentioned before, Izanami is one of the god tiers of the verse, one of the best Phenomena Intervention users. Hades Izanami is them at near enough their strongest. Izanami is basically the Grim Reaper, the aspect of death. Their Phenomena Intervention works on people who are typically immune to Phenomena Intervention, and he was still able to resist it. And weapons like the Nox Nictoris and Hazuma's own Azure Grimoire should be able to attack and kill people that can regenerate through self-observation, again, basically from being erased from existence. And so they should be able to negate them, but they didn't negate those for Ragna. And then Terumi specifically used self-observation to regenerate from being killed at every point in time at once as well, and he was able to come back from it. So even if you don't want to buy like the gymnastics of like, well, Ragna resisted these weapons, which could kill a guy that could do that, Ragna can basically become the Black Beast. Not as literally as it was shown in the death battle. He can't literally just transform into the Black Beast, but he can channel all of its powers through himself. And then, just to explain couple of the proper nouns. Ether is mentioned, basically magic for poison. Grimoires are what allows you to channel it. That's what Ragna's arm is. Ragna wields an idea engine. It's like the Nyx Nocturus, which are a bunch of weapons that were made to fight the Black Beast way back in the day, but it runs on nuclear power instead of magic. And it allows him to resist phenomena intervention to a greater extent than he already does. It protects the Azure Grimoire from being overwritten or nullified, so people that would try to turn his powers off couldn't do it. It allows him to boost his stats past where Terami was at the time, which I believe was Hazama Terami, so not quite god tier of the verse, but one of the stronger characters. It can temporarily dampen an opponent's powers, but it wasn't made to do that, so it can't do it for very long. And there was a point where a being was trying to absorb another being, and Ragna just flipped it so he can redirect absorption, generally speaking. Make sure I've got... Oh, Ragna is also immortal through a lifelink, which is basically what it sounds like. He is linked to another life form, so you would have to kill them both at the same time, which, operating at the scale that Soul does, I don't doubt he'd be able to attack them both at the same time. That's just another form of immortality that Ragna has. And then I think that's about all I have to cover for Ragna's abilities. He's typically like a pretty good fighter. He mixes grapples and swordplay with creating parts of the Black Beast through Seether, basically conjuring big claws and wings and tendrils and whatnot. I think he can fly. I'm pretty sure he can. I think they both can. And he's kept up with the greatest fighters in the NOL, who are trained to basically be like magic super enforcers. So as good as you can get at swordplay or hand-to-hand combat, Ragna's kept up with them relatively fine. He does get his ass kicked a little bit, but he's able to hold his own.
All right. These two seem very
Pretty loaded. They have a bit more hacks. They got a bit more hacks than the normal fighting game character.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So now we get to so
The fun thing stats. Yeah.
the fun thing that I've been wanting to hear. So, how powerful are these two fellows?
Who wants to go first? I'll let Nero go first.
Yeah, I wanted to go first. Okay, so Soul is a pretty strong. Let's say that. So he's in a variety of like impressive things. Like he can hold a black hole in his fist. When the outrage fully charged, it can like output an infinite amount of energy, and Soul can casually survive the recoil of firing outrage. And the most important thing is he can scale to people who have like contained the power of this thing we've been hyping up, the backyard, like Happy Chaos, Asuka, and most importantly, Eno. Okay, so what is the backyard? Basically, the backyard is like a superior dimension. I'm gonna post a scan right here for you, Aqua. Okay.
Ooh, I get to show a scan on screen. Hold on, let me pull this.
It is a superior dimension that gives birth to infinite possibilities, with the existence of infinite dimensions and worlds just constantly being reinforced. So when Eno became like, basically when she became God and received powers that is directly compared to the backyard, she said that reality just looks like ones and zeros to her, and everything around her just looked like fiction. And this is kind of backed up by Daisuke Ishiwatari himself. I'm not gonna show the scan because we're getting the thing up. So he describes the backyard like the creator of Daisuke Ishiwatari is the creator of the Guilty Gear series. He describes the backyard as a programming language, and the Guilty Gear universe is like a software, basically. The backyard having the power to shape and form an infinite amount of possibilities in an endless amount of ways. So like, you multi plus, potentially outer versal. Anyway, Soul killed her while he lost his overpowered gear powers. Yeah, just as a normal human being, he fucking killed Eno.
Okay. Hold on. You're leaving a bit of context out for how he achieved that. In my humble opinion. He didn't.
He fired outrage at her, which basically, I said this earlier. Like it charged. Yeah, like you said, like it basically charged like. I mean, okay, sorry, words are hard.
You're
Yeah,
good.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, so he basically just he charged like the outrage to a point where it killed Eno, but he also fired the thing, and he survived the recoil of it. So regardless, he should fail.
I don't think that's how recoil works. Personally, I don't think if I fire a gun, that doesn't make me the same level as the gun because I can contain the recoil. That logically speaking, that doesn't really make sense to me.
I mean, with every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, so you would still technically feel the force. It pushes back against you.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Also,
It's also magic.
Yeah,
Okay.
fucking-
Galil having, of course, Galil has an objection to when his goated waifu gets brought up and how she.
Okay, no. Look, look. Okay, well, okay. I see. Okay, all right.
Okay, I guess on the topic of God Eno, she was also just saying that she transcended time, which isn't out of the ordinary. Vampires in the Guilty Gate world,
Yeah.
Nagoriyuki and Slayer, are beings that naturally have the ability to transcend time, and Soul has like fought on par with like all three of them casually. So it's like,
3.
yeah, I mean, yeah, well Slayer and Nagoriyuki, yeah, fucking.
The narrow can't count? Question mark.
I said 3, motherfucker. It also implies God Eno.
Slayer and Nago. You said vampires and you said 3. My bad.
And I said, and it also implies God Eno, who also was able to transcend time.
Okay, my bad. I'm being such a needless dick. I'm so sorry, Nero.
It's fine.
Hippo asked
I
a
mean,
really good
it
question
is a
in chat.
complicated debate. I think the nitpicking does serve a purpose.
Yeah,
Hippo asked a
Yours-
very good question for you, Galil. Are you a gun yourself?
yeah, I am.
There you have
Oh,
it.
so,
It is a gun show.
I am.
Yeah.
I am
The opposite of the Iron Giant.
Also, here's the quote from Daisuke about the backyard being a programming language.
Yeah.
I'll show this
Yeah,
on screen.
Yeah. Basically, long and short of it, basically fucking infinite / immeasurable soul bad guy for like reactions and shit, and then also there's also multi plus and outer for his strength and durability. Yada yada. Boom. There you go.
Yeah,
That was simple. I wonder what's next.
Yeah.
So we're looking
What
at before we get to the wherever Blazblue goes. So we're looking at around so we're looking around multi plus to outer. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know about outer.
No.
Galil's really wanting outer. He's looking for something.
I'm a big you brought up Gaudino
for Joker.
Look, I only think one character in Guilty Gear gets outer, and it's the one you mentioned. So, well, no, 2 technically, but I want to save that for a future debate for my end.
All right.
Or do you want me to go over my stats
Yeah,
now?
you got the floor.
Okay, the basic summary of BlazBlue's cosmology is that whenever they refer to our universe, it's referring to the universe as it currently exists, all of the infinite possibilities that it could exist in, and the different timelines that it could pertain to. So, our universe is more like a multiverse. It's an infinite number of the same universe. And beyond that is the boundary, which is the connecting place between our universe and where the God unit lives. The God unit is God. And the boundary is stated itself to be infinite in size, given that it's beyond the universe and its own flow of time. It should be beyond time and space as well, so into around low complex, 5-dimensional, potentially 6-dimensional, depending on what arguments you make, but I'm not going to stretch it that far. And the God unit exists a little beyond that. It's not necessarily stronger. I don't believe it just exists in a place that the boundary connects to. Which characters actually scale to the full cosmology of BlazBlue is a little complicated. Technically, Ragna's own power doesn't get that strong until he awakens the true Azure Grimoire at the very end of Central Fiction. And in order to do so, he doesn't die. He goes into an abstract mode of existence where he basically exists and doesn't exist. He becomes a concept, which, he can't really continue the fight in that form. But there is some minor evidence to suggest that, at his strongest without doing that, he could still keep up with people that strong. Characters like Izanami and Terumi are able to affect... There's a room of shadows in chairs that are basically on the same level as the god unit, just in a different place. Terumi was able to absorb and contain all of their power. Ragna's been able to beat him in a fight before and even erase him from existence. Ragna has resisted hacks and phenomena intervention on the same scale as well, so even if his attack potency or durability didn't directly scale to the full cosmology of Blazblue, his hacks and hacks resistance do get that high. And I'm going to stick with me for a minute. Stick with me for just a second. I'm going to discuss Blazblue Cross Tag Battle.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
You lost me. You lost me.
Okay, say what you will about the game itself. And this is only just to, I guess, play devil's advocate for if you want to make this argument or not, or just to corroborate some things. I'm not going to go into, he fought a Persona character, so he's actually outer SMT scaling, haha. In an interview with the creator of BlazBlue, he stated that BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is not necessarily a mainline entry. It is not necessarily canon to the events of the main BlazBlue series, but can be taken as an alternate universe that potentially could have happened. And in this game, he's able to keep up with the Persona 4 cast, specifically as they appear in Arena, which is canon to Persona 4. And in Persona 4, there's a character threatening to merge the TV world with the physical world, which the TV world, like the boundary and like the backyard, would be, in my opinion at least, roughly a 5-dimensional space. It would be just outside of, physical reality. And so, if you really want to play devil's advocate to get Ragna's attack potency that high, you could use that, but even if you don't, his hacks resistance and his immortality do still work to low complex multiversal scale. As for speed, generally the consistent speed is about light speed, which you can say the same for Guilty Gear to an extent, but the higher ends are also close. Ragna's able to keep up with Murakumo units who can traverse the entirety of the boundary, and Ragna's even done so himself, and the boundary is, again, infinite in size, so being able to cross an infinite distance in a finite amount of time, obviously infinite speed. There are arguments for immeasurable by characters moving within stopped time, but the implication seems to be more strongly, especially given just the theoretical physics angle that BlazBlue tends to go through, that characters are more so directly resisting or being immune to the effects of time rather than just being fast enough to surpass it. So the high end for Ragna stats would be low complex multiversal, about 5D, in AP and durability with infinite speed. The lower ends would be the same for hacks, about light speed, and for physical durability, the best Ragna has showcased is scaling to an attack that was going to fucking blow up the planet, basically, large planet level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Also, to correct you, no, the consistent thing for Guilty Gear is massively faster than light.
But did you say he was above space and time?
I know, but look,
what did you say? It transcends space and time. You're immeasurable, bro. You don't got to do any crazy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know how much you want to bring up the Jacko feat or the Slayer feat. You don't gotta do all that.
The low ends for both is that Izanoi and Johnny are both stated to be light speed. That's the lowest end for both, but both characters can also be argued just into 5-dimensional, and to that point, speed is pretty irrelevant in the debate.
That's surprising. I thought speed was going to be more of a factor here.
No.
Okay.
I find it really fitting that Galil's here, because not only did Eno and Terumi get glazed in this stream, but then also evolved into Persona 4 being mentioned. So yeah, maybe it is very fitting. Galil's
and then Dawn's gonna be like, oh, okay, well actually, Blazblue had a crossover with Granblue, and
did it actually?
I believe so.
No, it didn't.
No.
No, wait, no. I know. Hold on. I know I'm not
Cyberpunk had a crossover with Guilty Gear, or is going to have one.
Oh yeah, go.
In BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, let me think. It was Arcana Hearts, Ruby, BlazBlue, Persona 4 and 3, Akatsuki Blitz tank, Under Night.
Senran Kagura, baby, let's go.
Yeah, Senran Kagura. I don't think Blue is in. I don't. At the very least, if Blazblue has had a Blue a thing like Blazblue Cross Tag Battle is the.
I just looked it up. Yeah, no, they had one in the in Dark War, I believe, which is the oh no, I'm thinking of Entropy Effect. I think it was like the mobile game.
Okay.
Yeah, the mobile game. Okay.
Then I would consider that less viable for Ragna than I would BB Tag, just because BB Tag. The other big reason I bring up BB Tag even relevant to the conversation is that beyond author statements that it's a potential like alternate thing, is a lot of what we understand about how BlazBlue's world works, and a lot of the expansion we get upon the characters themselves comes from BB Tag. Granted, that's because the people who like owned the rights to BlazBlue in general, and just like the inner workings at Arxis and Axis in general were being kind of fucky, so it was hard for them to really tell stories or make new games the way they wanted to. That's why we had one in a little while, but
yeah.
I have a question for Ecto, actually.
Sure.
So, how do characters like move through the boundary? Is it a physical thing? Because from what I research of BlazBlue, sometimes it's like inconsistent. Because like sometimes like with like in the case of Hakumen, he just physically can't move until he's shot out of the cauldron when he's inside the boundary. And in the case of like Makoto, she just like has no memory of ever being inside. So I'm like questioning if Infinite BlazBlue is like a thing.
It is inconsistent, but the characters it seems to be consistent for specifically are Murakumo units like Lambda, Nu, and Mu, which Ragna should be directly comparable to, if not outright superior to. And Ragna himself, like his showings, he has moved through the boundary before and crossed like the entirety of the boundary. So even if it's a speed that characters like Makoto wouldn't scale to, Ragna almost certainly would.
I mean, I imagine Hakumen would also like scale to them, but like he can't even fucking move in the thing. Fucking.
I mean, at his strongest, I'm fairly certain Ragna is faster than Hakumen. And again, it is inconsistent, but that is also one example compared to a lot of other characters that have been able to move through it fine. It also depends on, like, reality is constantly shifting, being rewritten, and just, like, overlapping, and fucking everything in BlazBlue is inconsistent. And there's a lot of stories, like, going back and retroactively rewriting one thing to actually be caused by two or three other things, or there's a lot of retcons that get explained by canon events like, yes, well actually that wasn't a retcon, someone used phenomenon interventions to make it this way. I'm like, alright pal, okay, don't cover up your bad writing through canon means, I know what you're doing. But again, this is also, this is taking Ragna at his high end, which I feel like if you're taking both at the high end of their stats, they're relatively comparable. I feel like Outrage is really the big thing, because Outrage seems to explicitly be much stronger than Soul is, so even if Ragna and Soul are comparable, that would be a big talking point.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'd agree that I feel like Junkyard and Outrage are very much stronger than Soul himself.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I would just added that. I disagree with that.
So okay, remind. Low end for Ragna, you got low complex, but if you put him.
Oh no, he said planet. He said planet.
Yeah, no. The lowest end for Ragna is speed of light and large planet. The highest end is infinite speed and low complex, which is about where it's about where the accepted / high end for Guilty Gear is. You can argue higher for Guilty Gear, and you can't really argue like the highest ends for BlazBlue being the same. It really depends on what you think is reasonable.
Right.
What do you think is reasonable, Mr. Ecto?
What I think is reasonable is that Ragna directly scales to people who harness the power of the boundary, which would, like, I think it's reasonable to argue at the end of Central Fiction, even before he awakens the true Azure Grimoire, he would be in a similar range as Soul activating Absolute World, because the boundary and the backyard seem to be so comparable in just the way that they're described and the way that they're, like, portrayed in the story, and even the effects they have. I think that generally speaking, their stats are pretty similar. But again, if outrage is in the equation, stats being similar only matters to such an extent.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
So I kind of want to lead the discussion in a particular way before because we got 15 minutes till we normally end. So I kind of want to get into two more topics. The first one, since if we're, for the sake of the argument, let's say both are around even in stats. What are the best counters or abilities you guys think beats the others here?
I was actually
let me pull up my
I was actually gonna ask that. I was like, if this, since here realistically, let's go best case scenario. I was gonna say let's go best
case scenario. If we're around even stats, who has the better like counters and abilities to fight one another and come out on top?
Because from what I'm hearing, I feel like if we're not giving Soul like, I feel like the thing with Outrage is that he required like those really specific things of like ammunition to get that high. So.
For the person that's made, we just gave him there.
Well,
we did give him everything.
Okay, so yeah, I'm actually gonna roll him actually myself. No, at the end of
to play devil's advocate for including Outrage, if and this is just my personal interpretation, Ragna, even with the True Azure Grimoire, ascending into his fucking higher plane of existence or whatever the fuck, Blazblue's cosmology, I don't think is big enough that it could survive Outrage nuking Ragna, even if you took him at that angle. I think it does come down to hack. I think that's where I'm at with the debate.
Okay. Well then, do either of you want to lead the discussion on why you think your character has the better hacks to win this fight?
I guess I'll go since I've been going like first all the time. So.
Sure.
My thing is that like Soul can actively like bring the fight to his own his own home territory with like the absolute world. Absolute world is him basically combining merging the real world with the backyard, and he can do all of this crazy shit within the backyard. So no matter what, Soul is gonna have the home field advantage, and then. A thing I found during my research is that while yes, inside the boundaries, Ragna has been able to resist soul manipulation. He's not like completely immune from what I'm understanding. Hold on, let me pull up my scan. Hold on. This weird vampire lady has said magic attacks, which is again, I guess magic is two different things in Guilty Gear and Blazblue, but whatever. Here's a scan.
Yes.
Rachel here.
Rachel Alucard.
Yeah. Magic attacks can still like scar his soul, so that implies that he's like not like completely immune to it. So like if, like I said, like when you're in the boundary and you're not like resistant like to the effects of the backyard. I'm mixing my words up right now. Backyard can just like rewrite someone's can like destroy Oh wait. It can overload your mind with information, and it disintegrates your body. Your body through the it can disintegrate your body and soul just through the pressure alone, and also just like other shit. Like it can just rewrite his information just so like he can just die through that in that way. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going off of. Yeah, and soul just being like a more like. I guess like experience and I guess like cunning and not cunning, just like a smarter fighter because Ragna's a skilled opponent, but he hasn't been like fighting as long as Soul has in his games. I feel like he can pull that off more. That's where I'm getting at.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So. Yes, magic attacks do scar the soul beyond the point where phenomena intervention can heal them, but when that happened to Ragna was not Ragna at his peak, as later Ragna is able to channel the power, as mentioned, of the Black Beast, which was able to regenerate from Nox Nictoris attacks, which not only were specifically designed to kill the Black Beast, but have the same effects as Seether and magic and do that damage to the soul and are able to scar it to such an extent that phenomena intervention won't affect it. But channeling the power of the Black Beast with self-observation, Ragna would not only be far more resistant to that, but he was immune to the phenomena intervention, which functions, again, similarly on an informational, physical, and spiritual and existential level. From Hades Izanami, whose phenomena intervention even worked on people that should normally be immune to it, like Noel. Meaning that, while the the backyard is very potent in the degree that it affects stuff, by the end of his story, Ragna is to a point where he should be more than capable of surviving in the boundary just as fine as Soul does. I don't think, or the backyard just as fine as Soul does. I don't think being in the backyard is going to be enough of a hurdle for Ragna to overcome that he won't be able to fight through it. I think the angle of experience does make sense, because Soul's been around a lot longer. He's fought a lot of people that have similar abilities to what Ragna has, even down to, funny enough, the Idea Engine, which further amplifies a lot of his defenses. Soul could potentially shut down because it's based on a nuclear power source. It is nuclear physics, and that's kind of what Soul's whole scientist study was. But I also do think that but let me just throw in some of my own research for Soul while I'm at it. He has an ability / a thing called the Master Ghost, which can resurrect him a limited number of times after he's died physically. I believe Cliff was the one that said it isn't indefinite, but he also stated that his core is immortal, and Soul has resisted pretty much everything that Ragna has resisted to the same extent that Ragna has resisted them. So I think where I'm at with the fight, as far as it comes down to hacks, is that based on purely their abilities, I don't know if either has the ability to kill each other. That said, Ragna is not immune to being knocked the fuck out, if that counts as a win for the format of this podcast.
Wait, you're debating against your own character, Don.
I am. I'm. To be fair, that's where I am. And also, you said that we're getting a little lower on time, so I don't want to keep us too long, and I do have a thing to do after this. But that's about where I stand. I think that their hacks and hacks resistances almost perfectly cancel each other on most fronts. Where at the very least, I think if it's going to the death, then it might be a stalemate.
I feel like.
Oh, one more thing.
Okay.
Can Ragna just resist getting his powers just disabled? Because I forgot about the guy who can just turn off some powers.
Yes, that is something Phenomena Intervention can do. That's something that the Azure Grimoire can do. That Karami has done to him before and then tried to do it again and it didn't work. That is something that the Idea Engine further amplifies for Ragna. So Ragna does have resistance to that type of thing.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. Well, Ecto kind of gave us final thoughts. Nero, do you have any final thoughts for why your character should win?
Well, that basically was. Okay, are we still talking about this match through a stats equal kind of thing?
You can. I was just asking for earlier just about counters, but yeah, we can ignore that.
Okay, so just going by if this is hypothetically just a stats equal thing, which I don't think this is. I don't whatever. I guess Soul's major advantage is just him like I said, just being a more experienced fighter, and he can probably just I guess just like I said, he can just understand his Azure the inner workings of the Azure Grimoire and potentially plan out for it. And even if this wasn't the stats equal thing, I think Soul just has a lot of stuff that can slow Ragna down just so he can charge up the outrage for that killing blow. Potentially, yeah. Again with servants and also just being a more experienced fighter and shit.
Got you.
I think that's fair.
Okay. Well, I guess Galil. Do you want me to vote first, or do you want to vote first? And I'll put it.
I'll give my opinion.
Go, feel free.
Okay. So from right here, I feel like it sounds like both don't really have a reliable way to kill each other. However, if we're giving them everything, Soul kind of just outstats. even Soul himself, like physically both should be equal, but Soul's dumbass fucking sword or big ass great sword just kind of makes him win. That's what I'm realistically hearing.
Hmm.
God.
I don't know. That sounds like it just sounds like if this is coming down to if they have stats, if they have equal hacks and equal stats, but one has a stronger weapon. I feel like the guy with the stronger weapons is winning in my book because you have at least.
I think that's definitely fair.
So yeah, I think my vote goes to Soul Bad Guy.
I think I'd also go with Soul just based on that front, but it does sound like if we were to do this as like a full thing, it'd be a lot more complicated. It does sound like a very complicated debate inherently.
Yeah, the big thing I went into this hoping to do was just convince people that, like, hey, I do still think Soul probably wins, but I think the debate is a lot closer than most people would imagine, and I think Blazblue overall is sort of undersold as a verse. It depends who you talk to, really.
Yeah, no,
it really depends who you talk to.
I was gonna say I've heard a lot of people put them at outer actually, so I feel like you kind of
I'm not sure about all that, but at the very least, I also wanted to get people I guess sort of more interested in this matchup again because I do think it's cool. I would like people to give it a second look, and I think a good first step in that is showing people that like, hey, it's not just a wash. There potentially is maybe some kind of debate to this.
Hell yeah. It does sound interesting. It does seem like the poll is going in favor of Soul as well, so with a 3-0 vote, but I mean I think it was a lot closer anyway. The winner is Soul Bad Guy.
Soul
Bad Guy.
Hold on.
Soul Bad Guy.
Holy shit.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Let me go to OFBD. Hold on. Let me grab a certain sound effect real quick. Let me grab
it's got a really good funny. We got
Soul Bad Guy.
Yo.
Soul Bad Guy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well,
There you
I don't suppose you'd have one for Ragna.
go. Let me look up. Let me see.
well,
You wanna wrap
that
this
kind of
up now?
died halfway through.
No, I don't got one. No, I don't got one. Unfortunately.
Can't escape from crossing fates.
Wait. Hold on. I'm in a Blazblue server. Let me just go through. Oh wait, I got one.
Bastard!
Do you have the crossing fates one?
In the ass!
There we go.
Yep, yeah, that's him.
That's it. That's Patrick Stantz, my goat.
Yep.
Well, I know the stream was shorter this time, guys, but I think everybody who did watched, even though definitely not as much interaction this time, but just was fair. Probably the fucking stupid thumbnail sent me.
No, you can't blame me. No.
I can't blame you. I can't blame you.
It's just because the death battle came out today. People are too busy rewatching the death battle. That's it.
They're watching a very peak and good death battle.
Yeah.
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil it.
You gotta watch it.
Actually, no. I want to play Contrarian. It's actually dog shit secretly.
Ooh. See, now I'm conflicted. Now I don't know what to go in expecting.
Thank you all for watching, guys. Have a good night.